boxing calendar over the next 2 months. As we look ahead to Ward Dawson next Saturday night, we invite you to visit our HBO Boxing Facebook page where you can pick the result of the fight. Here are your choices: Ward by knockout, Dawson by knockout, Ward by decision, Dawson by decision, or a draw, which we've already had here this evening between Zurich and Gonzalez. I'll join by Max Kellerman here at ringside. All right, we shift gears and focus on our main event and Gennadiy Golvokin. Let's take a closer look, Max, at a talent-rich middleweight division.
Yes, suddenly talent-rich, it's true. Of course, we have the big matchup with Chavez and Martinez coming up. The lineal middleweight champion of the world, Sergio Martinez, against the guy who suddenly is not just a name, but a real threat because of his size and his skill and his hunger at this point. Gennadiy Golvokin is considered by many insiders, and has for several years, to actually be the best guy in the division. Meanwhile, Felix Sturm, long-term stalwart behind that jab, gets out-hustled by Daniel Gale tonight. Gale now has a couple of belts, and Pirog, who upset American Danny Jacobs to win a belt, was supposed to fight tonight, dropped out with an injury. Peter Quillen, an up-and-coming fighter, Kid Chocolate, has established himself as a real contender. Gennadiy Golvokin tonight, folks. It's not going to be like the first fight. Wondering who might be winning on points, maybe a punch here or there, may win a round. Golovkin comes to knock you out, and so far, as an amateur and as a pro, he's almost always done it, but he's in tonight, Bob, with a guy who's capable of upsetting any middleweight in the world.
Yeah, you mentioned Golovkin, 23-0, 20 knockouts, but let's talk a little bit about Grzegorz Proksa from Poland. Got 28 wins, Roy, and he brings a whole unique style, a style I know that you like. What can he do with that style against Golovkin?
Well, what he has to do is try to use his head movement and his very unpredictable style to try to throw Golovkin's timing off. If he can make it hard for Golovkin to time him coming in and going out, he can make a very difficult night for Golovkin and possibly could pull off an upset. But make no matter about it, he has a very tough task in front of him. This Golovkin kid is the truth.
All right, let's take a look at the tail of the tape for our main event here this evening. Golovkin, 30 years of age, Proksa, 27. They both weighed in at 159 pounds on our unofficial scales. Golovkin rehydrated to 168, Proksa to 166 pounds. He's 27 years of age, Grzegorz Proksa. Real unique style when he comes into the ring. Says it's kind of a homegrown style, Roy. He's got a lot of you in him with the way he moves around, and he says, really not by design, it's just the way I feel comfortable and the way I express myself.
Yeah, he say he fights off instincts and reflexes, so he doesn't go out and try to set nothing up. He just lets the instincts take place and see what happens.
Well, he was getting ready to go on a holiday with his family. He was going to take time off, but then he got the phone call, Max, and even while he was on the first days of his holiday, he ordered pasta when he went out for dinner with his wife and kids, and his wife said, you know what, I think you've said yes before you've said yes.
Well, he had an opportunity to fight one of the best fighters in the world on HBO, debuting on American television on a very big stage. But I also think, Bob, he's just a competitive guy. And when the challenge arose, he took it.
Roy, he's had some problems with his hands. He's had some surgery on his left hand, and hands seem to be a problem. We had a chance to talk with him yesterday. He said it wasn't a problem. Do you think it's something that could linger?
No, I don't think they'll linger, but it does tell you that he must have good punching power in both hands. And we also get to see Golovkin tonight versus a southpaw in his debut on HBO. Never a good, easy task.
Super G, Grzegorz Proksa. And he was a lot of fun to talk with, Max.
Yeah, he has a star personality.
He really does, and coming off a win against Kerry Hope back in July. The only loss of his career came to Hope earlier this year in March. Lost a 12-round majority decision. In a fight, he said, look, it wasn't my best, but they gave me the rematch and I beat him.
Beat him up, too.
Triple G, Gennadiy Golvokin. His dream, he said, was to fight in the U.S. and on HBO. He realized he had to make the move, and here he is with that moment tonight, and he was exuberant about this opportunity.
He's had so many hundreds of amateur fights, won almost all of them. As a pro, not only is undefeated, but almost all of them by knockout. 3 guys have gone the distance. This is the best professional opponent he's ever faced, and he goes in there knowing at the age of 30, only now making his American TV debut, he not only has to win, but has to win big against the guy who it's not so easy to win against in the first place.
Roy, he seemed very relaxed during the fighter meetings, very confident in himself, but not bragging or boisterous, a quiet confidence.
Yeah, he has a quiet confidence about him. He's very confident, but he's so good, God made 2 of them. He has a twin brother that's almost as good as him. Wow.
And his brother Max, who stepped aside so that Gennadiy could move on to the Olympics and have the career that he's had. All right, that's his brother Max right there holding the belt. They both kind of chuckle, and Max says, you know what? Gennady's the guy for the job. No regrets on Max's part. He gets to hold the belt.
And doesn't have to take any punches.
All right, we're set for the introductions for our main event as we send it up to our ring announcer once again, Thomas Treiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our featured bout. It is scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing, and it will be for the WBA Middleweight Championship of the World. Brought to you by Arthur Polulo's Banner Promotions, Gary Shaw Productions, and Greg Cohen Promotions in association with K2 Promotions and Matchroom Sport. This event is also proudly associated with Centro Fox. It is sanctioned by the Oneida Indian Nation Athletic Commission, Commissioners Bill Fournier, Dan Gustafson, and Terry Winslow. Along with the World Boxing Association, President is Gilberto Mendoza. Supervisor tonight is George Martinez. Our 3 judges assigned, scoring on a 10-point must system will be Don Ackerman, Edwin Kintz, and Thomas Schreck. When the bell rings, our referee in charge, the 3rd man in the ring, will be Charlie Fitch. And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from the Turning Stone Resort Casino here in Verona, New York, this is our main event of the evening. Introducing to you first the challenger, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He's wearing white trunks with red trim and weighed in at 159 pounds. Coming to us from Węgierska Górka, Poland, he brings a professional record of 28 wins, just 1 defeat, with 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the number 3 ranked contender in the world by the WBA and 2-time European champion, Grzegorz Super G Proksa. And his opponent across the ring in this main event, he is the defending champion, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He's wearing white trunks with blue and gold trim and weighed in the same as his opponent, 159 pounds. Hailing from Karaganda, Kazakhstan, he is undefeated with 23 wins. And 20 of his 23 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the reigning WBA and IBO middleweight champion of the world, Gennadiy GGG Golovkin.
Come out with a chief second. Okay. Good evening, gentlemen. 12 rounds for the WBA
middleweight world title. You both know the rules going over in the dressing room. Protect yourself and obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves now. Come on, fighting at the bell.
If you're a hardcore boxing fan, maybe you remember Golovkin from the Athens Olympics where he won a silver medal. Maybe you've seen him knocking guys out on YouTube. Maybe you've heard some of the legends of him beating up heavyweights in the gym. See how he does against the best opponent of his professional career right now.
Scheduled for 12 rounds. Gennadiy Golvokin, Kazakhstan, in the white trunks with the black patch on the back of his trunks. Proksa from Poland in the white and red. Wondering why Golovkin's nickname is Triple G. His middle name is Gennadievich. So it's Gennadiy Golovkin. There's your Triple G.
And already he's forced Proksa to put that left hand up a little bit to defend the overhand right.
Right, two talented fighters meet. One guy keeps his hands higher, the other guy lower, and already the guy who keeps his hand lower has been tagged a couple times.
Golovkin with 5 first-round knockouts in his career. Proksa with 1, and that came in his pro debut on March the 5th of 2005. Bob Papa, Roy Jones, Max Kellerman, Harold Letterman, Turning Stone Casino, Verona, New York. Main event just underway. Gennadiy Golovkin and Grzegorz Proksa on HBO's Boxing After Dark.
In Golovkin, you're watching what most consider the best kept secret in boxing. Been fighting in Europe his entire professional career so far. He's 30 years old. And you see he's in against the guy who's doing a pretty fair Sergio Martinez impersonation, Roy.
Well, he fights off of instincts and reflexes, like he said, so he makes it very difficult for a guy to just time him and catch him coming in. And that's what Golovkin is having a problem with right now. It's going to take him a few rounds probably to really get his timing down pat.
Right hand from Golovkin, and Proksa gets hurt. Down he goes. First time in his career he's been down as an amateur or a pro.
6, 7, 8. You work off your gloves. Okay, you're all right. Box!
Proksa said he slipped. Referee ruled it a knockdown.
Golovkin with a deceptively long reach, Roy.
Yes, very long, and that left hook is a big issue for Proksa. I don't think he has a defense for that left hook.
Proksa feeling the power of Golovkin here in round 1.
Time, okay? But I want to see that shot right here. That right hand somewhere in here. Doesn't forget the head, okay? Knock this out? No, it's all right. Okay, get up? I want to see that right hand this way, not on top. Okay? And when you throw the right hand, you touch.
To the left, to the right. Do you understand? Smile, smile. No one said that it was going to be easy. Take it easy. Control.
Here you see Golovkin land. I think the best punch he landed was a left hook right there, and it was a delayed reaction because he came back and hit Proksa with a jab. Then Proksa loses his balance. But I think that was all an effect of that big left hook. There was another good left hook to the body, followed by some more stuff that really wasn't that effective.
We begin round number 2. You can even see, and Max made the point of the deceptively long arms of Golovkin. And Roy, even with that jab, you could see the power that he has just in the jab.
You know, Golovkin is a pressure fighter who's trying to get inside, but usually that guy has to get inside to land his bombs, and his arms are long, and he's able to land bombs from long range.
Very long range, but Proksa has to be careful here because when he throws some of his shots, he leaves his head right there to be caught by that left hook.
From the armpit to the tip of the fist, Golovkin's reach is 24 inches to Proksa's 22.5.
Meanwhile, you see Golovkin's not exactly impossible to hit cleanly himself.
And we heard his trainer say in the meeting that when he sparred with certain fighters, he didn't like it for him because he would let those guys tee off on him, which means that he's not a hard object to hit.
Roy, he's throwing a jab that's landing like a right hand, but he's not off balance when he's throwing it.
Not off balance at all.
Heavy, heavy jab in terms of how it's landing, but not in terms of the technique. Meaning he's not off in front of his front foot.
No, he's not. He's not off balance at all.
You know, it's fascinating to see him. You know, we get the tapes in our preparation. You watch it on tape. But having seen him and called every one of his fights in Athens to see the way he's matured and physically gotten stronger and sharper, it's pretty impressive seeing him in person.
And you feel as though every punch he throws can end the fight.
Yep.
That was the hook that I was talking about that Proksa had to beware of.
Good stiff jab again from Golovkin.
Where Proksa is as game as they come, and he will not lay down.
And he's throwing bombs himself, Proksa. Golovkin showing a very sturdy chin so far. Golovkin claims he's never been down in the gym as an amateur or as a pro. I asked him what's the worst he's ever been hurt, and he couldn't answer the question. He claims he's never been hurt.
Maybe he hasn't, but he just took a good left hand.
Hard to imagine a 30-year-old with his experience has never been hurt at some point, Roy, right?
Very hard to imagine.
Given his style.
Well, his trainer, Abel Sanchez, when they work in Big Bear, he says, I got to bring in all big guys to work with him, Roy. Because he doesn't feel threatened by anybody his size.
Including Angulo and Chavez Jr. and others.
Maybe they should let us ball his twin brother.
10 seconds to the bell.
Oh, he hurt it. He hurt Proksa.
Yeah. Proksa was wincing in pain. Pawing at that left eye. Tuesday night at 10, it's the season finale of Hard Knocks training camp with the Miami Dolphins. Get an unfiltered look into the Dolphins as they make last-minute preparations and final cuts before the start of the regular season. Catch the next installment of The Fight Game with Jim Lampley, Saturday, September 22nd. It's an insightful, in-depth look at the sport that you love. It takes you inside the sport of boxing.
Don't. 1, 2. 1, and then move to the side. Dive when there is the left hook. Move to the left, move to the right.
Gennadiy Golvokin ready to embark upon round number 3 against Grzegorz Proksa of Poland. Proksa went down in round number 1.
Roy, considering Golovkin's wide stance, which enables that punching power, how is he able to stay on balance and move around so well?
Because he keeps his weight in the middle. As you see, he doesn't put all of his weight forward at no time in the fight. Right there, even when he's throwing punches and he's on the attack, his weight is still in the middle. See there? He's never too close, and he's not giving Proksa his weight to work with.
So what is that, deceptively quick feet?
No, that's just called balance. You got to have that balance and keep your weight in the middle. Therefore, you can move it whichever direction you want to move it in. If you put it forward, then you give it to your opponent. If you keep it back too much, then you take away from your own power. But if you can keep it in the middle, then you're doing pretty good.
Proksa landed an uppercut that snapped back the head of Golovkin.
Golovkin's doing pretty good.
Stepped in with a left hand.
Proksa's no cupcake. He didn't go down easily even in the first round, though he was hurt. He was still throwing punches when he fell.
Roy, one of the impressive things about Golovkin, even when Proksa has his moments, Golovkin never looks flustered. He looks really relaxed, even in the heat of it.
He reminds you of a Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. He's always very economical in what he does. He's never frustrated about not being able to get there because he feels like eventually he's going to catch you.
A lot like Chavez Sr., Roy. Every time he lands, you feel like Proksa has to walk around with that shot.
That's exactly right. And make no mistake about it, Proksa is not a bad opponent either. He's a guy who's out here to win, a very good fighter, very good athlete. Good counter by Proksa.
Considering his movement and southpaw stance, maybe on paper a more difficult opponent than the original opponent, Dmitry Pirov.
I think he is.
Proksa keeps his hands down, tries to just sort of step in.
And it's very frustrating for a guy like Golovkin, where a guy like Proksa can steal you with a left hand, and there's nothing you can do about it. But just then you saw Golovkin get it back.
So who's the middleweight Chavez Sr.? Is it Chavez Jr. or Gennadiy Golvokin?
I tell you what, that would make for one heck of a fight because of his style.
He's still got a dangerous guy in front of him now.
Break!
Referee Charlie Fitch steps in.
10 seconds.
Oh.
Final seconds of the round.
Time!
Golovkin landing the hardest shots.
It's this. When he comes on the inside, you got to pick him up. Okay? Can't be everything on top. Okay? Okay. Just stay busy. You just got to wear him down, but you're waiting too much on the inside. Okay? When you tie him up, you got to work. And I want to see a little uppercut and a left hook. Little left hook and an uppercut. Just mix them up, all right? Up and down, but you have to do it on the inside.
Keep it. Keep it. And move to the middle right away after that. Remember that. Just move around. And then speed up and counterattack.
Well, if you've missed any part of tonight's telecast, you can catch one of a number of replays starting Sunday. Beginning Tuesday, watch tonight's fights anytime, anywhere on HBO Go, our streaming service for computers, iPads, iPhones, and Androids. As we start round number 4, Gennadiy Golvokin and Grzegorz Proksa as we check in with Harold Letterman.
Okay, Bob, 3-0, 30-26, Gennadiy Golvokin. You got to give Gennadiy Golvokin an extra point in round 1 because he knocked the other guy off his feet. You know, you score a knockdown, you get an extra point. So that's a 10-8 round. That's why it's 30-26. In any case, Grzegorz Proksa keeps bobbing and weaving, Bob, and he leans into the left constantly. Now, what gets me is every time Gennadiy Golvokin throws that right hand, he nails him because Proksa seems to bob and weave right into it. He goes to his left almost every single time. See, he always leans into the left. Gennadiy Golvokin hits him with a right hand. 3-0, Golovkin.
I gotta say, it is rare you see a guy combine the natural heavy hand.
Good left hand to the body and left to the head. Down goes Proksa.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See your gloves. Okay, we're good. Okay. Box!
Yeah, I think the body shot started that exchange. The body shots hurt him and got him started. Then he tried to exchange with a big puncher. You can't do that.
Proksa was off balance that time.
You're good, okay.
Well, I think you're 100% right. Those left hooks to the body started it all.
Yeah, they did.
It's the combination of the heavy hands with the technique. So rarely do you see that in a fighter.
Golovkin just places the punches so well. Proksa's in trouble again.
The body shots are really what's hurting him. That's what's causing Proksa the real problem.
Break! Don't hit him behind. Don't hit him in the back.
Boy, and
body shots are really
tough.
hurting.
That's impossible to recover from, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Oh, good overhand. I don't think Proksa has ever been hit this hard in his entire career.
Now there's another combination from Golovkin.
We've seen middleweights in recent years, Edison, Miranda, who are just spectacularly heavy-handed. But to do it with this level of technique and amateur background, Roy, it's not often.
Not often at all.
I can't think of the last guy in the middleweight division.
Sergio Martinez, maybe.
Good left hook to the body, again by Golovkin.
Martinez does not search and destroy like this guy.
Left and a right to the head. Proksa game trying to counter.
Time.
End of round 4. Must have felt like 4 rounds for Proksa.
Go ahead. Come on, come on. Go ahead. Will you keep it? Just clinch, move to the side. Clinch, move to the side. And he is confident. He will uncover. And then you can get it. When he's pressing, then he's on.
Very, very good. Here you see Golvokin miss with the left uppercut, come back with a beautiful left to the body. Then he goes to the opposite side with a right hand up top, followed by another beautiful left to the body, then followed by left uppercut. The uppercut seemed to hurt him after the 2 body shots had did their damage.
We begin round number 5. Gennadiy Golvokin putting on a show against a game, tough, talented Grzegorz Proksa, but outgunned. Golovkin fighting in the United States for the first time, 23-0, 20 knockouts, silver medalist at the Olympics in Athens. But he is just tearing apart Proksa. Combinations to the head, those miss. Good right hand to the body. Proksa trying to counter. Golovkin just calm and cool as a cucumber, Roy.
But you got to give Proksa a lot of credit here. This kid has shown a tremendous heart, being in with probably the hardest puncher he's ever seen in his life, and he's still giving us all he has.
Oh, right hand hurt Proksa. Golovkin steps in and down he goes again.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
How tough is Proksa? No, the referee stops it.
Guys, Proksa destroyed Sebastian Sylvester in 3 rounds not long ago. He is a top middleweight. Tonight, I think he could have given a lot of middleweights in the world run. Based on what I saw, he was no match for Gennadiy Golvokin.
At all.
Oh my goodness.
He had never been down. Down 3 times as Golovkin gets stoppage number 21. Doesn't even look like he broke a sweat.
There is a monster in the middleweight division. And he said he'd fight anyone from 154, Floyd Mayweather, to 168, Andre Ward. They would do the fight right now.
Good overhand right by Golovkin, followed by a left hook. Keeps his weight well balanced right there on the attack. Never see him overshoot nothing. Another overhand right and left hook. Caught a hook. Another beautiful left hook to the back of the neck. Church over.
And he never seems rushed, Golovkin, even
Never
when he
does.
knows his man is hurt.
That left hook to the back of the head hurt Proksa pretty bad. And Proksa, as you saw right there, still was trying to fight back. Just couldn't make nothing happen.
He went down in the 1st, down in the 4th, and then here in the 5th. Golovkin shows him no love, and he ends it. Right to the ear. Proksa was trying to plead his case to Charlie Fitch, but Charlie said, "You've taken enough." All right, let's get the official particulars of the stoppage as we send it up to Thomas Triber.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 1 minute, 11 seconds of round number 5. Our referee in charge, Charlie Fitch, stops the contest. Your winner by way of technical knockout, and still WBA and IBO middleweight champion of the world, Gennadiy GGG Golvokin.
Triple G was that good. As he takes apart Grzegorz Proksa, as we take a look at the total punch numbers in the fight for Golovkin and Proksa. Golovkin threw 301. He landed at 34%. Maintained a very steady clip in this fight. The middleweight average is 57 thrown per round. He averaged in this fight over that margin 60 punches per round. And let's take a look at the power punches, where Golovkin landed 40% over the course of the fight, 74 of 187. He dropped Proksa 3 times. Proksa had never been down as an amateur or pro, down 3 times here this evening. So what did Golovkin do as far as placing his punches? You see to the right, the punches landed on Proksa, 79 to the head. He did good work to the body. Those left hooks in round number 4 really opened things up in his 101 connects. Gennadiy Golovkin victorious again. He's standing by with Max Kellerman.
Oh my goodness. I've seen that guy destroy some world-class fighters. How did you just do that?
Yeah, thank you, Max. Yeah, Proksa is seriously a good fighter. No, he's strong. I feel him. I feel him after second round. I feel like I can punch him. Just relax, just start fighting. Yeah, great fight.
Well, it was a great performance. It was a bit one-sided. You drop him in the first round suddenly. What were you thinking at that time?
You know, I feel him. Yeah, right. This is my first fight in America, yeah? United States. Thank you so much, my public. Thank you so much, my corner. Thank you so much, my coach, my family, my team. Yeah. Not easy fight for me today. I'm ready. You know, I'm ready to fight. I know him just after first round. I feel I'm better.
This is your debut on American television on HBO. First fight here in America. How do you feel after this kind of a performance?
I'm happy now. This first fight in HBO. Thank you so much, special for HBO. You know, it's my dream now. This is my dream in fighting in HBO, on HBO, and at America. I'm happy. I'm happy now.
It might be difficult for you to get guys to get in the ring with you right now, even in this very deep, talented middleweight division. You said that you told me yesterday that you'd fight anyone from 154 to 168 pounds. Who do you have in mind?
Seriously, it doesn't matter who next, you know. I'm ready. I'm stay here. I'm in America. I'm happy now. I'm ready now.
Would you fight anyone from 54 to 68?
Yeah, everybody.
Anyone?
Of course, anyone, yeah. Of course.
If Andre Ward beat Chad Dawson, you'd fight him?
Yeah, what not? Yeah, Andre Ward is a good man. I beat Andre Jarrell, you know. I'm ready now.
That was an amazing performance. Thank you for that, and I'm sure we'll see you again real soon.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, everybody. You know, thank you so much, special HBO. I love you.
Bob?
All right, Max, Gennadiy Golovkin. You know, in a lot of ways, when you talk to him, he's kind of an old soul. But when he puts those gloves on, he's a lion. And tonight he had a chance to achieve a dream, to fight in the United States. And I'm sure after tonight's performance, we'll be seeing a lot more of Gennadiy Golovkin. Coming up next on HBO, you don't want to miss it. It's the premiere of 24/7 Chavez Jr. Martinez, as we offer an uncensored look into the lives and camps of these fighters as they get set to square off for the middleweight championship September 15th on HBO pay-per-view. So now for our entire Boxing After Dark crew, I'm Bob Papa saying so long from Turning Stone Casino and Resort in upstate New York.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.